Okay, so we're going to take a slight deviation now and have a look at Orchestrator. Orchestrator is a control center that allows you to monitor and run all of the robots that you have in your environment or your organization. First up, let's go and look at UiPath Orchestrator and create an account. We're going to navigate to the URL. Once Orchestrator launches, we're greeted with a dashboard. We're going to go to the services section and click Add Service. We'll call this LinkedIn Service. You can see we have a number of licenses available to us. We're going to assign 2 robots to development, 1 to unattended, and 2 attended. This may be slightly different for you, but you should at the very least have 2 development licenses available. Click Add, then wait for the service to be provisioned. So once the service has been enabled, we can see the status of our LinkedIn service. Just very quickly, attended licenses are those which run on desktops and can't be triggered from Orchestrator. Unattended can run completely independently from humans and maybe on a virtual environment or on a laptop and can be scheduled and triggered from Orchestrator. Development licenses give you full functionality of both attended and unattended robots, but shouldn't be used in production environment. Let's click on LinkedIn Service. This takes us through to the Orchestrator dashboard. First thing we're going to do is click on Robots, and we're going to set up our first robot. Click the plus sign. We're going to select Standard Robot, and we're going to enter our machine name. If you don't know your machine name, then navigate to this PC, right-click on this PC, click Properties, and your computer name is in the computer name or full computer name settings. Click Change Settings, and you can copy and paste the name of your machine into Orchestrator. Click Provision Machine and the name of your machine. Call it whatever you want. We'll call this LinkedIn Machine. Then enter your domain and username. If you don't know your domain and username, open up Command Prompt, type "Who am I?" and it tells you your domain name and your username. Copy that information, enter into the domain and username. Enter your Windows password. We're going to leave the development machine. This is going to be using a development license, and we'll click Create. Great. So we can see that the machine has been created, but at the moment it's showing disconnected. Let's navigate to the Machines section. Find the machine that you've just created and click View. This is going to give you a key. This key attaches Orchestrator to your specific machine. Click on the copy icon, then navigate to the UI robot in your system tray. If you can't see the UI robot icon in your system tray, start typing UI and you can see the UiPath robot application appears. Click on this to start it, and then you should see it appear in your system tray. Click on the UiPath icon and then click the cog. Click Orchestrator Settings and select the Orchestrator URL, which is https://platform.uipath.com. Enter the machine key that has just been created for your particular machine and click Connect. Hopefully, you will see the status updated to connected in a few moments. Great. Now our machine and our robot are connected and licensed. Click Close. Next up, we'll go back to Robots and we'll click Environments. We need to add a new environment. An environment is an area in which your robot is eligible to run. We're going to call this LinkedIn Environment. We're going to select the machine that we created and assign it to that environment. Click Update. Great. Next up, we need to add a process that can be assigned to our robots. Let's go back to UiPath Studio. Create a new project and call it Test Orchestrator. All we're going to do in this project is have a message box pop up. Type message box, add it to your main pane, and put whatever text you want. Next, we need to click Publish. This will publish your process to Orchestrator. We don't need to update any information at this point, so we're just going to click Publish. You should see a message that says that your project has been published successfully. Click OK, and go back to Orchestrator. Click Processes, click the add sign, and now we're going to select our test Orchestrator process, which has just been published. Again, we don't need to update any other information at this point. Click Create. Finally, we need to go to Jobs. We need to click the play sign, be created. Tick the box next to LinkedIn machine. So what we've done is we've created a small process which pops up a message box, and we've told it exactly which machine and which environment to run on. You can see the command was sent successfully, and the message box pops up saying that the process was started by Orchestrator. Fantastic, that's your first ever process that you've started from the control center in UiPath. So we've successfully run a job in Orchestrator. Next up, we're going to have a look at some assets and credentials and see how they can be used within our project. We're going to create some credentials for the Acme application, and we're going to use them in our Acme login component. Let's click on Assets, click the plus sign. We're going to name it Acme Credentials. The type is going to be a credential. Username is our username for the Acme application. And the password will be stored securely. Great, so we've created our credential. Now in our UiPath project, within the initialize state of the reframework, we can see there's quite a lot of activities going on. Try not to worry about it too much at the moment. What we're going to do is we're going to navigate to the initialize all applications workflow, which is where we've logged into our Acme application. Using the get password activity works on one particular machine, but as soon as you move the process to a different machine, it's not going to work anymore. So it's much better to use the orchestrated credentials if possible. We're going to remove the get password activity, and we're going to replace it with the get app credentials workflow, which is part of the reframework. Click import arguments, and our out username is going to be our pre-existing str acme password variable. The in credential is going to be the name of the credential that we just created, which is Acme Credentials. And our out password is going to be a secure string type variable. So click Control K, type SS for secure string, and call it Acme password. That's great. Now if we look at the Acme Academy login component, we can see that the in password type is actually a type string. Now that we're using the credential from Orchestrator, we need to update this both here in the invoke and also in the component itself. So let's update this to a secure string. Browse for types, type secure string. Click OK. And make sure that the argument that we're passing in is now our newly created SS Acme password rather than the str. Click Save. And don't forget, we now need to go to the Acme login component itself and make sure that the change is made. Go to the arguments, update the password in to a type of secure string, remove the default value, and you'll see that some errors occur. This is because when we're typing into the password in the Acme application, we're using a type into activity. Rather than using a type into, let's update the activity and select a type secure text activity instead. We can copy the selector because the text box itself is going to be exactly the same. Then in the secure text property, let's type our in password argument. You'll see that the error message disappears, and we can remove our type input password activity above. To make it easier for people to follow which field you're typing into, click Take Informative Screenshot, highlight the password field, and the image will be updated. Great. Let's just click Validate to make sure there are no more errors. No validation errors found. Great stuff. So we're now successfully using an orchestrated credential to log into the Acme application rather than any hard-coded values or using the get password activity. So we've successfully created the credentials, and we can test that a little bit later on. But in the meantime, we may also want to create an asset. An asset is more of a generic variable that we can use to enter information into other components. Let's go back to Orchestrator and create a new asset, and let's call this SHA1 URL. The type of variable is going to be text, and we're going to go and grab the URL from the website, copy and paste it, and put it into the asset value. Great. The way we access assets is slightly different. If we look in the init stage of the framework, we can go to where the config file is being read, and we'll see a component called invoke init all settings workflow. This is where our config file is read, and I'm going to explain what the config file is in a second. We'll go to the framework, let's click init all settings, and let's have a quick look at the component. The two main things that it does is read in all of the sheets in our config file and create a dictionary. And secondly, read in all of the assets from Orchestrator based on information that it finds in the config file. So without going into too much detail, what we're trying to do is grab the next asset. So in the try loading server assets part of the init all settings workflow, we can see there's an activity called read range assets. It's using the in config file location, and it's looking at the sheet called assets. We can have a quick look to see where the in config file argument is pointing. If we look at the arguments, we can see in config file is pointing at data/config, and this is the default location for the framework where the data config file is held. Open up the config, and we can see there's a sheet for settings, a sheet for constant. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the name of our asset into the asset column B, which is SHA1 URL. We can name this whatever we want, so let's call it SHA1 website URL. And put a brief description to explain what it is. Save the config file, close it, and continue. So what we need to do is pass that asset value into the SHA1 component. This is done when we invoke that component as part of our process. Where we have our invoke SHA1 generate hash workflow, we're going to edit the arguments, and rather than the hard-coded value, we're going to replace this with our in-config dictionary, and we're going to use our newly created name for our asset. Afterwards, we need to type .toString, and we're now referencing the asset value from Orchestrator rather than any hard-coded values.